The following video is entirely based on interviews and stories reported by other media outlets, which we collect and curate in an attempt to provide one coherent and well-rounded history piece from the world of professional wrestling.
Support WrestleTalk!
Like us on Facebook.
Despite being one of the biggest names in professional wrestling, Goldberg has only ever had 2 WrestleMania matches, both against the same person. But in 2003, he nearly had a Mania moment with someone else. I am Luke Owen, and this is Goldberg's missing WrestleMania match. Goldberg was one of the many WCW stars who opted not to take a pay cut when Vince McMahon purchased the company in early 2001. Goldberg has said in interviews since that he was asked to take 50 cents on the dollar to sign with WWF and be part of their invasion angle, and he wasn't willing to do that. Several journalists noted that WWE attempted to negotiate with Goldberg after the WCW acquisition, but he only wanted to work certain dates and with certain stars, a deal he was getting while working in Japan. In late 2002, it was reported that WWE were again looking to sign Goldberg to help with the sinking ratings and WrestleMania business. WWE were reportedly concerned about star power, as The Rock was making waves in Hollywood, and there were reports that Steve Austin wouldn't be returning for a match at WrestleMania 19 following the disagreements he had with the company at WrestleMania X8 where he wrestled Scott Hall. In his autobiography, Austin wrote, "I was on the 3rd or 4th match. It wasn't even the main event. It was just some match on the card the way I looked at it, and I wasn't happy about that at all." Pro Wrestling Torch would write, WWE, in the midst of decreasing fan interest and media recognition of that decreasing interest, is looking for a way to boost interest at WrestleMania. The biggest ace that WWE has yet to utilize is Bill Goldberg, one of the biggest stars in WCW during its peak run in the late 90s. WWE has begun discussions with Goldberg and his representatives about joining WWE in time for WrestleMania. These rumors were furthered when The Rock appeared on a Dallas radio station and said he was working on something with Goldberg but couldn't talk about it further. Torch sources told Wade Keller that the plan was for Goldberg to face The Rock at WrestleMania 19 as one of their marquee matches. Keller would write, "Since neither Rock nor Goldberg are full-time WWE wrestlers, it would be a one-time match to make WrestleMania seem like something special and worthy of the extra $5 WWE will be charging." According to other reports from the time, however, one of the plans for Goldberg coming in was to work 3 matches with The Rock, the first at WrestleMania 19 and then culminating in a rubber match at SummerSlam 03. The following week, Goldberg confirmed on No Holds Barred Radio that he was in talks with WWE about working WrestleMania 19 and how he wanted to wrestle The Rock but was worried about the backstage politics of working in the company, stating he wasn't sure how he would deal with Triple H if he played games with him. This was a common mindset for many following the invasion angle in 2001. Sting revealed in a TNA-produced documentary that the reason he never signed with WWE was because he saw an episode of Raw where The Rock looked at Booker T and asked him who he was. That one little comment is all it took to bury someone, in my opinion. It was a way to let everyone know that you're a WCW guy and you're a peon here. Booker T added to these comments in an interview with the Boston Herald saying, "I was mad I had that confrontation with The Rock because I had to build myself all over again. The WCW guys were supposed to be buried. None of us were supposed to make it." In January 2003, it was reported that talks between WWE and Goldberg had slowed down, but there was still hope that a deal could be reached to start a program with The Rock. This seemed to be moving forward the following week, as Goldberg wrote on his website that he was happy with the current deal suggested and the ball was now in WWE's court. The following week, The Torch reported that The Rock had told an extra on the set of the then titled Hell Dorado that he was going to face Hulk Hogan at No Way Out and confirmed the match with Goldberg at WrestleMania 19 before he steps away from wrestling for good. However, Bruce Pritchard refutes that claim on an episode of Something to Wrestle, saying, "That is such horseshit made up from someone who's an extra on a set." By early February, however, the reported match between Goldberg and The Rock fell apart due to negotiations and WWE moved forward with Steve Austin and The Rock instead. Wade Keller wrote in The Torch, "The maximum number of dates Goldberg is willing to work is less than the minimum number of dates WWE wants him to work, and no progress has been made. WWE's concern is that investing heavy TV time in a wrestler who is only going to work 2 or 3 pay-per-view dates might help TV ratings and pay-per-view buy rates, but it it would hurt house show attendance. In March, the Torch would report that negotiations had stalled to the point that WWE were working on a WrestleMania without Goldberg. In the No Way Out 2003 episode of Something to Wrestle, however, Bruce Pritchard claims that while negotiations were ongoing, there actually was never any plan for Goldberg to wrestle on the grandest stage of them all, and was always set to make his debut on the Raw after Mania. Goldberg was never considered for WrestleMania. Yes, we were negotiating with him to come in. We had Goldberg for 1 year. To bring Goldberg in, you had to be able to build him up for that year and get the most out of him to build to that WrestleMania. If you've only got a few weeks to build Goldberg for WrestleMania, it's not enough time to get the bang for your buck. And then you've got him for a whole year, and you don't have him for the next WrestleMania. We've got other WWE Backstage Expose episodes here on WrestleTalk, so click the videos on screen right now for more awesome wrestling content.